So, what about private school? I got a question from a friend of mine, and she said, "Hey, Katie, I am going through a divorce with my husband, which is actually a great thing, but we're just worried about the impact of the transition on our son, who is 9. He's currently in private school and he's doing really well, finally. It's been a long road to get here, but I'm excited to see the progress that he's made. I really don't want to disrupt him. I don't want to move him to a different school, especially when he's going through all of these other transitions with the divorce and everything else that's going on. And my question is, can I make my husband pay for it with me? And if not, can I just pay for it myself? So I'm glad you asked. Hi, guys. My name is Katie Wilcox Carter. I'm an attorney at Hoffheimer Family Law, a Virginia-based family law firm that represents women exclusively, but I also run this page, Your Girlfriend Needs a Divorce, and I'm glad to answer this question. So I think there are very big differences in how different states handle family law cases, and you'll definitely want to check with an attorney in your state to make sure that it's similar to how Virginia would handle this. But in Virginia, where I practice, attorneys are really hesitant to encourage people to sign agreements that obligate them to do things like paying for private school tuition that the judge wouldn't make them do. Because private school tuition can be really expensive, and we're going into a situation where a lot of things are changing, especially, in the divorce context. Custody can be on its own. It can just be custody, but it's often part of a larger divorce conversation, like it is in the case that I'm talking about here. But there's a lot that's going to be changing for everyone. So the judges are aware of that and are really conscious of what they are asking parents to do financially. And he's absolutely going to have to pay child support according to the state guidelines, but he's probably not going to be forced to pay for private school tuition. So the other side of that question is, well, then can I just pay for it myself? And the answer is yes, and it sometimes does come to that, but attorneys also generally tell their clients, like, if you want to do that, that's something that you can do, but let's not put that in agreement. Let's not formally obligate you to do something, because if the situation changes and you aren't able to meet those obligations on your own anymore, then that's not something that we want to have forced on you. But the other side of that, I would say too, is that I think it's a real shame, and I do see this a lot, but I think it's a shame that so many men are willing to let their kids suffer because they ultimately know that their child's other parent will pick up the slack. And that's kind of what I saw in this case. And that's not part of the question she asked me, but it's something that I observed. Is this husband was very, very aware that he wasn't going to have to pay those expenses. So he refused, knowing that she would pick up the slack, the child's routine would be uninterrupted, and that he wouldn't bear any financial responsibility for that. So, just be aware that is something sad that I see happening. And I think that it is always a good idea to keep your kids' best interest in mind as you're making decisions moving forward. And that's obviously what this mom is doing or was trying to do. But don't forget too that you don't want to obligate yourself to something on the off chance that eventually you're not going to be able to meet that obligation. And you do have to take care of yourself before you can take care of your kids. So don't forget that your financial bottom line matters too. But I do recognize the work that you're doing and how hard you're trying to make this minimally disruptive for your child. And definitely kudos to you as a mom. You're doing the best you can in incredibly difficult circumstances. And it's a complicated question, and one that you'll probably be exploring a lot in the years to come. But I definitely wish you all the best as you figure out what's best for you and what's best for your kids during divorce and then long after divorce.